Yes.
16th, no problems? Okay, it's the 16th, thank you. All right, Councilmember Lang, you asked that 4.5 be pulled off of the consent agenda?
Yes. I was part of the safety committee with, at that time, Chief Ross, when this stop sign was initially installed in that area, and I realized it's the yield coming up the, going south is there because of the, I tried it tonight. Put your car and stop and whoom, back you go. And I saw all winter long, I live right below that hill there, and they're coming back down if they stop. They can't get going again. Zzz, pretty soon they're coming backwards. And I feel to change this to a stop going up is a negative because of that. I know we discussed it at length at that time. It must be, oh gee, when Oak Street went in shortly thereafter. And so I'm against putting a stop sign coming up the hill. And that's the reason. I really don't know any more, you know, if you want to change it to yield, so, you know, trying to make it the similar. I know you could go yield from the other direction then. We have that in that area, yields from each side. But that's just my comment. I can, my four wheels, I'll get up there no matter what, but some people don't have that.
Mm-hmm. Public Works, Public Safety, you have anything to say?
Mayor, council members.
Yep.
All three of us, Public Works Superintendent May, and City Engineer, Jonathan, and myself went out and looked at it. We looked at the vision issues and consistency issues. And yes, we did look at the grade. It does plateau just a little bit at the top, unless the main concern we had was if cars backed up past it and got under that grade. And quite frankly, we don't know if that's going to be the case, and with snowy morning. But I think there was room for two vehicles without getting the major grade.
True. Talk about a vision issue, try going on Forest Street, crossing 25. Now, there's a vision issue. But I don't feel there's one here.
And you folks have, you did the sight lines and you kind of sat there and made a careful calculation. It's not a very busy street, is it?
We
I
had a
mean,
lot of discussion about it,
well,
but it's just the main thing we're trying to get is consistency. I also, Councilmember Lang argued the point to no avail to the two counterparts to my right. But if you look at Buffalo Street, coming up on State Street, I mean, I can probably 5 or 6 roads, I can tell you that we have stopped on a grade, or they're not the best, but they're done just to be consistent. So I do agree with you. And I disagreed with Joe and Mr. Lanning also, but we've had some close calls there. From that yield sign is the reason it came forward. So it's one of those things that I agree with. I tend to agree with both of them. I don't do that often, but I do now.
yeah. Well, I think that you have to, and again, this isn't pile on Jim night, but 90% of the time, 99% of the time, you're not dealing with the conditions that you're describing, and that's what you're more concerned with is that day-to-day use, summertime, springtime, whatever, when you're not dealing with the snow, is when it becomes dangerous. And I think that most people who live in those areas that, you know, have a hill or whatever, will adjust their driving habits on a snowy day, you would think. You know, if you know you can't get up the hill, then you go a different way. So I'm frankly in favor of leaving the recommendation and authorizing, let's see, what is the resolution 09-014 adopting, no, I'm sorry, installation of a stop sign at Oak Street and Court Street. Is there any other discussion? Mr. Trost?
Yes. A large number of the neighborhood come to me about this last year. I gave it to Chief Lanning. This isn't the only one. There are several streets they want changed. They don't, there's other problems, there's other streets, there's close accidents almost all the time. And it's usually from the yield signs. I don't believe in yield signs, they just don't work. People don't, a yield sign, they just go right through 'em. Either a stop sign or nothing, but I think we need more stop signs in that area of town. And take all the yield signs out.
They don't stop at stop signs, so what's
But
there?
at least they slow down.
Uh-uh.
Well, I know they don't stop at stop signs, but that's not my concern. We'll have to have the police watching better. But yield signs, I don't think work anywhere. We don't have a yield sign in any new subdivision anywhere, and that I know of. They're all stop signs. And I drive a lot of streets here every day in this town, every morning and every afternoon, and yield signs are just terrible. They don't even slow down. They don't have to.
Thank you, Mr. Trost. We'll call the question on this one. 4.5, installation of the stop sign at Oak Street and Court Street. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
All right, this goes 5-1. Thank you for your comments.
4-2.
4-2? Oh, who else?
Me.
Okay. Lang and Coop voting against. Okay. Did we actually get a motion and a second on that? I don't think we did. Did we, Ms. Cranks?
It was an informational.
It was just an information thing.
Okay,
Took the pulse of the council.
as it were. Okay.
That's good.
Is there anything administrative? We'll see everybody here at 6 o'clock on Monday, October 26th for their budget workshop. This is it's turned to budget workshop? This coming, our next, okay, very good. You called it a budget workshop, so I thought that would be all of it, but that's not true. All right, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Laughlin, Underfirth, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.